Good morning, guys, from Bangkok. Just got out of the gym here, and in today's topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I get so many emails and comments, how people are so ready to sell everything and move overseas. But after living here 10 years, I can tell you one thing that seems to be a common denominator or a big mistake is people rush into it. And then some end up going home within a year. So before you buy that one-way ticket, there are 7 things I think you should absolutely do first, and that is what we're going to cover in today's video. Make sure you watch till the end. I'll put the most important one there. Stick around for today's video.
Southeast Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps
now, the first one I would start with is don't move after a 2-week vacation here. You want to visit in different seasons, rainy season, typhoon season, things like that, because there's not a whole lot of other seasons really here. Stay in different neighborhoods. Don't just stay in one like expat bubble. I mean, you're not getting the realistic feel of it. And try to live like a local, not a tourist. Don't just be staying in hotels. Don't be just eating at the nicest restaurants. Get out and try to live a little bit like a local. You got to get out of that tourist mode. That tourist mode will give you this false sense of what things are really like, when in reality, things aren't going to be like that. You're going to run into issues. You're going to have bureaucracy problems. You're going to have out-of-stock issues, if you're in the Philippines anyway. You're going to have visa issues. You gotta get out of that tourist mode and live like a local. Typically, that means what I recommend is getting out, staying in a hotel for 3 days, kind of checking out different neighborhoods, stay 3 days here, 3 days over here, 3 days over there. And then you check out a different neighborhood and you find the one you like, and then you book maybe an Airbnb for an entire month. And then you start to feel a little bit more what it's like to live like a local. Start shopping at the grocery store and cooking meals at home and just things like that. And number 2 is make sure your income is stable, guys. Don't assume your savings will last forever. I see this so many times. It happens in Thailand with these foreign beggars. You get them in the Philippines. Everybody knows the John story from Old Dog, who ended up having to get money raised for him and GoFundMe and all these different things to get him back home because he was stuck and basically homeless. You need to know exactly what your monthly income is, your monthly expenses, and you need to have an emergency fund of at least 6 to 12 months living expenses. And don't do what so many of these guys do and wait till they are literally on their last peso or their last baht and then decide, okay, well, I better get home. No. You better get home when you are down to that last amount to be able to buy a plane ticket. That's when you need to get home. You don't wait until you have 10 baht left or 100 pesos left and then try to figure things out. No, get back home while you still have the money, like a plane ticket. That's where having a credit card comes in handy, guys. Don't get rid of your credit cards just because you move overseas. They're still come in handy very often. And what I'm going to do, guys, next is I'm going to go run over to the coffee shop because this restaurant here, I think, is about to open that I'm sitting at, and I don't want to get all the traffic and everything. So I'm going to go into my local spot here, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing is, and I think a lot of people overlook this, is you need to get your healthcare sorted out. You want to research insurance. And if you're moving to the Philippines, contact Michael Onstead. He is the go-to guy. I'll link his information down in the description in the pinned comment, but he's kind of your go-to guy. He can also insure you even in Thailand. But you want to check out the local hospitals. If you're going to live in a certain area, map that out, know which hospital's best, know where it is located, so if something happens, you know how to get there. Make sure your prescriptions are filled and doctor's notes and all that kind of stuff, and check ahead of time to see if those prescriptions are available. And have some emergency plans. What is your backup plan? If something happens, some emergency, are you going to be okay there locally? Would you have to fly to, like, for example, St. Luke's to Makati? Would you have to Get over to Thailand. Would you need to get over to Guam if you're a vet, perhaps, or maybe back to the US? You got to kind of have your plan B mapped out. Don't just wait till something happens. You know, healthcare here, especially here in Thailand, can be excellent, excellent all over Thailand. But I think you need to plan it in case you do need it. So definitely, even when I flew to Kenya, I researched right away. I said, okay, which hospital would be the best one to go to if something happened? God forbid something happens, where do I need to go? Always a good idea. And then number 4, rent before you buy. And I mean this in a lot of different senses. I think one of the biggest people's mistake, and I think you really need to live there 6 to 12 months before you buy anything big. And when I say big, I mean like a motorbike, a condo, definitely. If you're asking me if you should buy a condo in the Philippines, my answer would be no. They're just not upkept well. Thailand, that's a different story, but don't do anything at least until you've been here 6 to 12 months. Don't try to make any long-term commitments. Try not to get into these long leases or these obligations. And that also includes moving a girlfriend in after 1 month or after 2 months. And it happens, I've done it, especially when you want to be the knight in shining armor and come riding in on your stallion and save them from their poverty. You know, you can help improve their life without moving them in. So caution on that as well. But listen, you may fall in love with one area, and 6 months later, you may have wished that you chose a different area. That happens all the time. That happened to me. Even me, after 1 year, well, I wouldn't say I rushed into anything. I stayed in different neighborhoods around Bangkok till I decided on this particular one. Mainly because I like the area and I have a lot of friends in this area. But I'm just going to move just down the street because after 1 year, I've decided I kind of like this area a little bit better. So yeah, you're constantly, every 6 to 12 months, you may change your mind, or after the first 6 to 12 months. So try not to do anything long-term. And again, that means even relationships. And number 5, and I think this is also huge, a lot of people will get online, they'll chat with a Filipina, a Thai girl, wherever, and they will move for the relationship. And that is a huge mistake. And that not only to the country, but also maybe to her city or her province. And you may end up miserable. You may have found the right woman. You may be happy in the relationship, but you will be miserable in every other aspect of your life. And I see it all the time. In fact, a lot of the expats that are disgruntled and crabby in the expat forums, those are the guys. Those are the guys that maybe met a Filipina, they're married, they had a family, and maybe that part of their life is fantastic. But they hate the Philippines, or they don't like Thailand, or they don't like Vietnam, or wherever. So I always tell people, find the place that you want to live, then find the girl. Much better results. But move because you love the country or love the city or the neighborhood, not because of the girl. And the way you know is if the relationship fails, you'll still want to live there. And in me, in particular, Dumaguete is a case on point. Dumaguete was okay. I enjoyed some aspects of it. A lot of aspects I hated. But I was there because of a relationship. Twice, actually. And if I could have done it again, I probably would have settled in Dumaguete, but relationships kept me in Dumaguete. And number 6 is learn the culture. Now, on an everyday basis, like this cappuccino that I just ordered, I ordered the whole thing in Thai because I just keep adding Thai vocabulary and I use it every chance I get. And even in the Philippines, when I was living in the Visayas, I was like, I would greet Maayong buntag, maayong hapon, maayong gabi, salamapo, all of that stuff. It just, people appreciate it and learn the culture a little bit, learn a little bit about local festivals and traditions. It just makes life easier and it'll give you a better understanding. I'm not going to say you're going to fit in because you're still always going to be kind of an outsider here in Asia. That's just the truth. You're never really going to be part of society. They're going to look at you as an outsider. It doesn't matter if you've lived here 20 years. You are still In Thailand, you're a farong. In the Philippines, you're a kano or a hey Joe. But just don't expect another version of home. It's going to be different communication styles, different customer service, different bureaucracy, different time, different dating, different family expectations. So if you're flexible, it is going to make your life so much easier. You got to be flexible. If you're stubborn and hard-headed, Asia's not going to be for you. You're going to grow frustrated. And if you're impatient, it's not for you also. And the last one, I think, honestly, this is why I put it at the end. I think it is the most important. In fact, everywhere I go, even if it's for a vacation, I have an exit plan. And I also don't mind walking away from everything that I have here, other than grabbing my laptop, my phone, and a handful of clothes and a few other things, maybe some documents. I can be out the door in a duffel bag, and the rest, I really don't care about. You have to always ask yourself, if it doesn't work out, what is my plan B? What am I going to do? Always have an exit plan. It doesn't matter how good your life is here, how smoothly things are running, you just never know. It happened to me in Cebu, in Mactan, Newtown in 2021 or 22, 21, I think, or maybe 20. Typhoon Odette came and just destroyed everything. And I grabbed a backpack, my motorbike, and I was on the next ferry, and I went over to Mindanao and lived in Davao for a while. I had an exit plan. I always said, okay, well, this is where I'll go. And it worked out. You gotta always keep enough money for flights home. You never know when an emergency happens or you have to leave. Temporary accommodations, unexpected expenses. And again, I'm not saying you need to be rich, but at least have a credit card that you can book a flight, book a hotel, book a rental car, worry about paying it off later, but at least you can get out of your situation. And if you have an exit strategy, then you have peace of mind. You know what to do. It's not the end of the world. If things go horrible someplace, you can get out of there. So listen, in closing, moving overseas has been one of the best decisions I've ever made, hands down. But only because I took my time and adjusted my expectations. If you do these 7 things first, you'll give yourself a much better chance at building a life that you're actually looking for. So if you're thinking or planning on moving overseas, let me know where you plan on going to in the comments. And if you'd like personalized advice based on your situation, check out my one-on-one consultations, links below in the description and also the pinned comment. Check out all the travel gear I highly recommend for living or traveling overseas, GIOINTHEGO.net. Again, that's GIOINTHEGO.net. Click on the top, click Gio's Travel Essentials. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I come out with a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps slipping away from us. Keep living like this. Away